Well, we've got our reporter Aviam Dila, who's in Heidelberg, and he joins me now live. Aviam, what's the latest there from the Minister?
Well, Faith, the house that you see behind me is essentially where cables stolen from Prasa were being melted. The Minister just did a walkabout, seeing the extent of the damage itself. As you walk in, you'll be greeted by this dustbin. I'm going to ask my colleague Joel just to show you. As you can see there's some of the equipment, Prasa equipment essentially, that was being taken from Prasa coming to this particular house. We understand that the equipment that was recovered here was worth 2.6 million rands. But just to get more detail on this, I am joined by the Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula. Thank you for joining us at ENCA, sir. But you've done a walkabout in this house. What are you seeing? What's the extent of the damage that we see here?
Well, this is a house of crime. It's a house of criminality. It's a factory of crime. All Prasa equipment is processed here, and it's an internal job. As it would have been established, it's an internal job. Prasa technician linked to the crime as a suspect, and they're stealing a whole copper cable. The copper cable that they are meant to use to connect the network, they actually steal it, bring it to this factory in loads. And then in this factory, it is melted and packaged nicely out of Mozambique and to the farthest east of India. That's where this network is operating. It's a syndicate. Like we have always said, it is an internal job. And it is happening here. This is like a drug lab. If you have been to a drug lab, this is the same. So it's happening right at the heart of the township in Heidelberg.
Do we know to what extent it is an internal job? Because we understand that Prasa cars were being used to travel this, but we only understand one person has been arrested. To what extent is the rot inside Prasa?
We have said it. This is a broken organization. I mean, it is a broken organization which we are fixing, and this is what we are doing. I'm with the administrator here, and this is what we're doing by intervening here. These things have been happening for years. It's not like we discovered something that has not been happening. It's an internal job. It's a network from inside. We have said it. Security companies that are employed here in Prasa, the people who apprehended this whole network is Prasa Security, which is permanent. It's not contracted security. It's our own security in Prasa that apprehended this and brought this rot. We'll report about others who ban trains and all of that, and how they link to private security companies that are working to Prasa. It's a modus operandi, which is amounting to what we call economic sabotage. You can imagine cables stolen and all of that. The whole network comes to a halt. Passengers here and everybody else who's supposed to go to work, their day comes to a halt. Trains are not operating on time. And then that's what actually happens. The whole system network is actually sabotaged. The people who some of them are suspects in this case are the ones who are employed as technicians to come and carry these copper cables to basically knit them. These copper cables are not going to where they are supposed to go. They are coming to this house, back to India. It's a permanent job. It's a scam. So they are all under arrest, but it doesn't end here. This is too big. It's big. It's in all networks. And then modus operandi analysis, security, how we are going to react to this is very important. From a point of security of Prasa and the administrator and the management of Prasa, to say, how do we react to this? Now we know exactly where the problem is. We have put our finger into it, and in terms of how we operate and how we are going to protect the network from a point of capital installation and roll out in Prasa must speak to countering this heinous crime.
Just on a related matter that you touched on earlier on the burning of trains. We saw a train being torched last year in December with coaches, 10 coaches. I understand the value of 50 million rand that was burned down. We understand that you've apprehended 4 suspects. 4
suspects have been apprehended, will be in court tomorrow. And we need to speak to our counterparts within government. These people must be charged with the economic sabotage, not minor things. There you get fined. Police apprehend these people. Prasa security apprehend these people. Tomorrow they are out on a bail of 50 rand. And then they've sabotaged the entire network. Look in Cape Town. Small kids, they're still in jail now, burning trains, 18 coaches down. And what we're saying is that this house itself must be subjected to forfeiture. It must be taken over by the forfeiture unit. I've spoken to Ronald Lamula to basically come to the party. I can't win this alone. This is undermining the state and economic sabotage of the state. And the law must speak to this. The prosecutors, they must charge these people with economic sabotage. And they must be brought to book for years in jail. We arrest them, 400 arrests in Cape Town. All of them get out on fines. And these are repetitive criminals. I mean, you will see tomorrow in court, the people who are arrested, the suspects. It's not for the first time. They've been arrested for this and that crime. And here in Prasa, it's economic sabotage because it feeds their bellies. It's a lot of money. Copper cables is a lot of money. It's money. And we have said that it's scrap metal that fits back. But we'll win this war. And we're simply saying that those who are doing this, we are on top of our game and we are going to respond accordingly.
Thank you very much. That is Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula, sure that they will win this game, which he calls that, with these perpetrators basically melting down cables from Prasa and essentially what he terms a drug den. We do understand that we're going to move to a warehouse now where equipment was recovered to the tune of 2.63 million.
We're going to leave it there for now, giving us the latest with the Minister Fikile Mbalula. But coming up shortly, we're going to give you the latest from